Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how to publish a book for free. This episode is all about making the most of your budget. And there are definitely ways you can stretch a dollar and take a DIY approach to publishing your book. By the end of this video, you will learn the steps that you could potentially take on your own, and one that you definitely shouldn't take on your own. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free resource I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. There are so many companies out there online, if you go to Google and search around, that will tell you that they can publish your book for X amount of money, that they'll do this and this and this, and it costs this much money, and you have a published book. I want to cut through that a little bit. You know, I think there's so many opportunities to bring down the cost of publishing. You could actually just publish a book right now. You could just take words and put them online. It's not to say that they're going to be any good or that anybody's going to read it. But you can do it. But ultimately, taking a DIY approach and stretching your money as far as you can when writing and publishing a book, it's really a matter of figuring out what you can do, what you can bring to the table in terms of the skills you have or the skills that people in your network have, people that you're close to have, that you can cover those key elements of book writing and publishing yourself or through connections you have. So there's ways to bring down cost in book writing and publishing. What are your skills? What are the skills that you bring to the table? If you're a great writer, for example, you'll be able to write your draft probably. You might not need any help to write a draft. If you're not a strong writer or you don't feel confident in your writing or want to work with a ghostwriter or a writing coach to help you along in this journey, that's going to cost a lot more money. So being able to do it yourself, being able to move forward in clarity with the writing process or with cover design, for example, maybe you do a lot of design work on Canva. You may be able to design a cover based on Canva work. Canva has a lot of really great templates and design elements to work with. So cover design could be something that you do yourself if that's something you feel confident with. But it's really all about figuring out what you feel confident in and focusing on those things, and then the things that you don't feel confident in, outsourcing them, working with other people. I'm a huge fan of leaning on your network, of working within your network, your connections, the people that you know. There's probably people in your network that could help you along on this journey, and they may be able to help you at a discount. They may be willing to take a discount on something. Or maybe there's a barter system in place where you do one thing for them and they do one thing for you. So there's opportunities there. With some of my clients, for example, they provide services for me and I provide ghostwriting services for them. So it's a nice trade-off, and there's not as much money trading hands. This is a services for services trade. But it's really powerful to be able to work in that space and lean on your connections, because you probably know people in your network or one step away from your current connections who have the answers that you're looking for. There's also so many tools available today that help make the process to book publication easier. For example, there's the Pages app on Apple computers. I've used that before to design the interior layout of a book. It wasn't great. I'm not really proud of what came out of it, but it was simple and basic and straightforward. And that was a really interesting process to be able to work on that myself and say, I did it, Again, it wasn't great, but I did it. Whatever you end up doing yourself or working with other people to do, there's opportunities to cut corners at certain points in the process. Again, with interior layout, as I mentioned, that may be something that doesn't matter so much to you. You say, you know what, I'm going to do that myself, not a big deal. Maybe with cover design, for example, that could be something, if you feel comfortable enough to do that yourself, you might not need anybody else. The one thing I recommend that you do not cut corners on is editing. A lot of people will speed through the editing process, or will just do a quick edit, a light edit, and just publish a book. And it's full of typos and errors and style issues and formatting issues. And it just looks sloppy, it looks bad. And that really diminishes the power and impact of your book. You want this book to have an impact even if you're doing it on a shoestring budget, but you want to have editing help you with that process. Ultimately, there's 3 steps to editing. There's developmental editing, which is the 30,000-foot view. There's content editing, which is the lower level. And then there's proofreading, which is going to catch all the little things that were missed the first 2 times around. If you're really interested in a shoestring budget and just speeding this through, I would say you need the first 2 steps in that editing process. You need a developmental edit for story purposes, and you need a copy edit, probably 2 rounds of copy editing. You may be able to get by without a proofread. I do recommend the proofread, but if you're interested in moving beyond that and maybe proofreading yourself or somebody else that you know, so be it. But you really want to have at least those 2 rounds of editing to catch the big things. You don't want to have big problems with your book. If you have a typo on page 125, so be it. You can always adjust that over time. If somebody catches it, good for them. It means they're reading. But ultimately, you really don't want to have big problems with your book, because those are going to turn up in the Amazon comments. Those are going to force people to downvote your book and ultimately diminish the impact. Those are going to send a message to the reader that you really should have spent more time getting this right. So you really want to spend some time with editing. At least do 2 rounds of editing at the least, potentially 3. Prefer 3, but at least 2. If you want to learn more about how to publish a book for free or on a shoestring budget, you'll definitely want to check out another video. I'll link to it on the screen. It's called How to Publish a Book. In that video, I cover all of the main topics involved in the book publishing process, from writing, editing, design work, interior cover design, marketing, promotion, every step in the process, even the paths to publication. There's so many things that you can learn about book writing and publishing, and watching that video is going to help you just decrease that gap and just get a little bit smarter on this process. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.